Okay, Love is Blind, Season 6, Episode 1. Trevor has a mullet, and when he gets in a room, he asks her, what's her name? She said, Chelsea. He's like, oh, my dog name is Chelsea. She asked him, what's his name? Trevor. Oh, my dog name is Trevor, too. I don't believe them. I don't believe them, but okay. She asked Trevor to tell her a few things that makes him smile. He said dog makes him happy, a sunny day, butterflies, movies, and she's all gushing into it. She's loving it. I guess she's assuming that he's, very much into his sensitive side. She asked him for 5 things, and what was the last thing that makes him smile and or happy? He said a fresh cut lawn. Honestly, I can relate to him on that because when when you see a nice manicured lawn, or it just it brightens up my day, honestly. When I'm walking through my neighborhood and there's like one neighbor at the end of my corner, no matter winter, spring, summer, fall, his lawn is always meticulous. His grass is always green, even in the wintertime, while all of ours are tan. But I still like to look at it. It does make me smile to see a nice manicured, fresh lawn. He asked her what makes her smile or happy, and she said she likes sunset and a nice cold beer. And they're there giggling. I kind of like the rapport between the two of them. So far, I'm going to pair them up. I'm not saying that this is how it's going to go, but I'm pairing them up together from what I saw. I like Chelsea's personality. She's saying she's 30, she's a flight attendant. She's saying that she's tired. She tried going to Home Depot. I've heard about going to Home Depot and trying to get a guy. I've never done it. Um, but girl, you're young. You're beautiful. You should have no issues getting in a relationship. Me and Chelsea and Jimmy's 27 software sales, and her being a flight attendant slash event planner, she wants someone remote to travel with her. So far they seem okay as well, but I felt like she had more of a, not necessarily chemistry, but and again, I'm judging. This is like the first few minutes, the first 10 minutes in the show. But it just seems like they had more, the banter between her and Trevor was more than her and Jimmy. Okay, so Jimmy and Jessica, he goes into, on his next date. And she's 28, an executive assistant. He's like, who's this? And she's like, your wife. I kind of like that right away. She seems confident, and I like that. Yeah, so far they seem cute, Jimmy and Jessica. He's a Scorpio and she's a Capricorn, so he's like, yeah, we're compatible. So I guess he's into the zodiacs. He lied. He said he liked to say it. And then he complimented her voice, and she's like, oh my God, people say I sound like Fran Drescher. I like their chemistry so far more than he and Chelsea, but I like Chelsea's and Trevor chemistry. And I know it's the beginning, but I'm just going with it. Jessica has a 10-year-old daughter. She's 28 with a 10-year-old daughter. And she had expressed in the ladies' lounge that she's not trying to lead with that. She just wants someone to get to know her before she disclosed that information. So now she's on a date with Matthew. WTH. Matthew is 36, a financial advisor. He's like, I have a few questions, just pick one, and excuse me if you hear the wind, just pick one. So she picked one, and I forgot what it was, but then she reciprocated and asked him the same thing. Homeboy was like, I was really just expecting to ask the questions. I wasn't really expecting you to talk back to me. And then he gets up and leave. Thank you, Matthew. Keep it moving, because that is awkward AF. That is disrespectful AF. You guys are on a show getting to know each other. Yes, you have the right to ask questions, and she has the right to ask questions. That's what dating is all about. That was just so weird and so disrespectful to me. So Matthew is a big no. Okay, Matthew and Sarah Ann, she's 29 years old. She seems so chippery and perky. I like that. She's very enthused. And she's asking him how he's doing, and he seems so closed off. My goodness, are you sure you know where you are, Matthew? Did you sign up for Love is Blind, or did someone else sign up for you and you just, showed up? Anyways, he gave her the same spiel as the 15 questions. She picked one. I think it was the short-term goal. And she goes on, to talk about that she wants to find the love of her life, and et cetera, et cetera. Editing made it seem longer than what it was. I doubt if it was probably even a minute or two. Anyways, Matthew gets up and walks out. Matthew needs to go home. Matthew is so freaking awkward. I know he's being so rude. He's not giving the whole experience a chance. So, Sarah Ann was like, thank freaking goodness that he's gone, because she was like, hello, and no one answered. And then in her confession, she's like, Math can kiss my butt, but she said the A word. And I'm like, yeah, girl, he can kiss mine too. Math in his confession talking about love is like so uncomfortable. Do you know that the show is called Love is Blind, that there's actually love in the show? Where are you, Matthew? Where are you? You and Amber, she's 30. He's liking her vibe. I guess she's not too talkative. He tells her he likes her energy. He asked her, perfect weekend date or whatever. And she said, grab a cup of coffee, go for a hike or a festival. It's not that Amber sound down or whatever, but maybe the other two ladies were a bit too chippery for him. And he's not, because he's a financial advisor. And I know a lot of people in different occupations, and maybe because he deals with a lot of numbers, he's really just not that playful. I'm not, no judgment on anyone, and please don't come for me. I'm just putting that out there for his personality. Okay, so Matthew and AD, off the bat, she asked him what is he looking for. I guess it only showed like this is his fourth date. He could have been on, 10 dates already, but I guess he's getting warmed up. He took off his coat and even sat on the floor and telling her he's not trying to do this to become, for the 15 minute of fame or whatever. And he's from a small town, 600 people. He recently started seeing a therapist, and he honestly only gives her like a one-word answer. Okay, so I understand you a little bit now, Matthew. You're very reserved and very sheltered. I get it, but still, you are on a dating show. But he's quite comfortable with AD because they're talking, they're going back and forth, which he didn't give at least two of the other ladies the courtesy to, even answer one of their questions. AD tells him that she's a city girl from, Boston, Mass, and she's never been on a farm. And, they seem like opposite, but she can tell he's a nice guy. She's pretty much, making him feel comfortable. I'm sure that's just her personality. I'm sure she's not doing it just to win him over, but he is very comfortable and calm with AD. I am liking their vibe. I like AD and Matthew's vibe. They seem, I don't know what it is, but they seem okay talking to each other. They both let each other feel comfortable because he expressed how uncomfortable it is. And she's like, we're all uncomfortable. Welcome to the party. So Matt seems like he has not trust issues, but it seems like he just has to, you have to get warmed up, or either he has to get warmed up to you, or you have to get warmed up to him, or y'all both need to warm up with each other for him to open a little bit. So AD says, she typically doesn't go for the nice guy. She typically goes for the player. Um, and, if she sees a red flag, she'll just paint her nails red to go with it. And her, mom is like, try something different. So anyways, it's just funny how she mentioned, I typically go for the player. And then her next date is with Clay. And he's 30. He's in tech sales. And AD, Amber Desiree, she's 32. She's a real estate agent. So Clay's telling her that he's into the pillow talk, the FaceTime. He'll put on his radio voice, and he gave her an impression of it. And, he tells her he's 30 and afraid to age and wanted to get a cat because cats, you don't have to show love. And she's like, oh no, like she's afraid of cats. And if you don't give me a kiss, I'm going to tell you didn't kiss me today. So he's given me, like emotionally unavailable. Yeah, he's given me like he might be emotionally unavailable, or afraid to express himself. So she asked him, are you ready for the next stage in life? And he's like, I believe I am. But before that, when she was talking about the kisses, he mentioned, oh, I wish I can kiss you now. So with those things being said, it's given me kind of player-ish. Like, are you just saying certain things to because it goes, or you think that's what, she wants to hear, or that's what it's given me, that he's, saying certain things to that she might want to hear. Like he's going off of what she's saying and reciprocating it because he thinks that's what she wants to hear. They're back into their spaces. The ladies are back in their lounge. The guys are back into their lounge. They're talking about it. Dion is mentioning to Trevor that, Chelsea seems dope, and Trevor's like, yeah, he likes her, and his dog name is Chelsea. So I'm wondering, like, is your dog really named Chelsea? It was just too awkward or too coincidental. Chelsea is telling Amy C that, Trevor, she liked his energy. Jessica is telling Ashley that Jimmy, when she spoke to him, it was like electric. And then Ashley's like, did your lady parts pulse? And then they start laughing. AD's telling the ladies that, she's very surprised by Clay, by his energy. When she told him that her name was AD, he was like, AD all day, is that what it stands for? So she liked his energy off the bat. So they go back to the men's lounge. Matthew is just over there in the corner in his book. He might be taking it seriously. That's the way it looked, but I did not like how he treated the other dates. And I called him awkward. It was awkward at the moment, but I'm kind of sort of feeling him out, because we meet new people, and this experience or experiment could be overwhelming, and especially like he said, he's from a small town, seems very sheltered and all that. So anyways, the guys are like, we're going to make him talk, because all of the guys are together, but Matthew is over there just studying his book. So back in the ladies' lounge, AD mentioned that, mentions Matt's name and she liked him. The ladies were like, hold up. Like, quiet the room. You like him? And she explained, like, yeah, he was, kind of hard, but the more they talked, he opened up. But the ladies are like, WTF, like, no, not Matt. Mentions that she would love to talk to him again. The ladies, they turned around like, whoa, like, what? Like, did you get the same mat that we got? Else, that it takes that one person to really make someone else feel comfortable enough to open up. And I think that's what AD gave to Matt. But also, AD could have been like his last date, and he probably finally either wind down or warmed up and was like, listen, I gotta take, I'm here for a reason. Let me give somebody a chance. So everyone is cheering to a great first day. Matt is over there by himself. Um, I, this is a competition, a dating competition. So if he's really taking it serious and not really trying to become friends with these people that are going to be dating my girl, I get it. But the whole experience is also to build a bond with your fellow castmate, because you guys are all going through the same thing. And we, the people on the outside, don't know what it's like. So, it's good to have someone that you can relate to. So I guess I get both sides, if whatever. Next day, everyone is it shows both the men and the women, they're making breakfast, they're eating, they're talking, and then the first date is Amy and Johnny. They're talking about places to travel, and Amy mentions that she really wants to go to Japan, and talking about anime and how she loves it. He can relate to her. That's on his bucket list. Then he mentions to her that he's never left the country. She says, I guess she's trying to be relatable with him, and said, like, kind of sort of her too, because she's only really left the country with her parents, and her mom's family is from Spain, but her mother was born in Puerto Rico. And he hears her accent. He gives her a compliment, and he tells her that he's from Jersey, a small town, very family oriented. He shared bunk beds until he was in high school. They are cute together too. I like their vibe. And he's telling her how, he and his siblings were very close, that to share a bathroom, and just reminiscing about, certain, like his sister playing music and all that. I love that. I have that experience that he had with his siblings. She said, it was hard for her growing up as the only child, and she was depressed. She didn't really have any friends, and her father used to beg people from the church to come to her birthday parties. My heart goes out to her. She's telling him that she was only an only child up until the age of 7. That's when her parents had her little brother, and how she wished for him. She wanted a little brother because the little sister would wear her clothes, so she's grateful to have a little brother. Telling him how, she just wants someone to know her heart and her soul before the physical. She wants someone to really love her. And then in her confessional, she's talking about how it felt like being an outsider. Um, you know, the American language, or the English language, was hard for her at first. She did not speak it. She's there crying, and she's only 27. Um, she just really wants someone to love her for her soul and to really get to know her, because she knows that beauty is going to fade one day. And my point in saying she's only 27, because I am older than her. I'm older than everyone on this show, actually. And I'm looking at her like, girl, you're beautiful. And you seem like you have a nice, genuine, caring personality. Like, how could someone not love you? But you never know what a person is dealing with internally. And, to see her tear up, it really, touched my heart, because at 27, I'm like, damn, I don't know. I think the whole point of me saying that she's 27, that's when you're young, you have young love, regardless if it last a year or a lifetime, but you have those young love experiences. And it kind of breaks my heart that, she's really dealing with that at that age, that she really just wants someone to genuinely love her on the inside just as much as the outside. We're on AD and Clay. They're on a date. He asked her what's her full name, and she said Amber Desiree, but people just call her AD. And he says, my name is Clayton, but people just call me Clay. So she's like, AD. No, she said all day and Clay. And he's like, yeah, people call me O Clay. So they're in the room, they're in the pods, they're flirting. He's saying some rhyme and stuff to her. She's squealing. It's cute. Confessions. In her confession, she says she thinks Clay is a ladies' man, but she is very curious. So she kind of gets that vibe, but this is what she always picks. So she's she knows her picker is off, but she's still going with her picker. AD's on a date with Matthew, and in her confessional, she's like, he's like a pistachio, has a hard shell, but once you break it open, it's something nice on the inside. And she seems she seems in awe with Matthew, and he seems in awe with her as well. I like them together. This is just episode 1. I'm just going off of their little chemistry at the moment. I like them together. They're just giggly back and forth. Um, she's making him blush. Matthew has some really nice teeth. I love nice teeth. But seeing him smile and showing his teeth, that's why, a lot of them have nice teeth, but he has a nice smile. And she asked him his favorite music and genre, and you know, she just brought his guard all the way down because he is so open with her. So she tells him she likes hip hop and some classic rock, and she asked him if he knows how to dance, and he's like, yeah, more than you would think. And you see, I think Matthew has a lot to offer when he is completely out of his comfort zone. And I can relate to that, not to the cutting off and cutting the date short or whatever, but I can completely relate to being open up once I'm with that person that I feel comfortable with. So I'm liking Matthew, telling AD that she makes him nervous but comfortable at the same time. And, he's not he's not saying the same things to any of the other women, and he's really feeling her. AD is you can tell that Matthew makes her blush, and she makes him blush as well. They have a cute little chemistry, and he's trying to wonder, what a city girl see in a country boy, or will a city girl like a country boy? And I think that's such a cute combination, like opposite. It's cute when opposite worlds come together. There's a lot to learn, a lot to talk about. So I like that. Okay, so the ladies' quarters. Um, at the women's quarter, Jessica is telling everyone that she really likes Jimmy. So next, they're on a date and they're having some wings. And she's telling him that, oh, the one in the middle is safe. He takes a bite. This man is choking and gagging like this. He said this is effing hot. And she's there coughing as well, but she doesn't think it's that hot. So he's pretty much sweating, nose running, and he's like, I have to blow my nose. She's like, go ahead and blow your nose. And he's like, I blow really loud. He actually blows his nose. She's cracking up, but Yeah, he blows his nose while they're having dinner. They are, I guess this is another day, or maybe like, I guess this is another day, or later on that day, Jimmy and Jessica are on a date. Um, I guess this is the day when she's finally going to tell him about her daughter. He's telling her that, he's had a hard time in the past dating because his family was not accepting of certain women. And now he feels like he's in a much better place. So she finally confessed to him that she has a 10-year-old daughter. And you can tell, like, his demeanor changed, the mood changed. So he's telling her it's not a deal breaker, but you can tell he's thrown off by it. Why didn't you tell me this first? And then he starts asking her, question like what's her name, but you can tell he's it's a little curveball for him, for lack of a better word. Inquiring like, were you married? Pretty much like, were you married? Were you messing around with, So she explained to him that they were like elementary school. They knew each other from elementary school. She moved around a lot, but he was her constant, like her safe space. And in high school, she got pregnant. So they never got married, but she kept her baby. You can really tell like he's there still trying to be in the moment with her, but that was like a bomb for him. Um, I can only imagine he's 27. He's probably thinking like, damn, that's a whole child, a whole grown child that I'm going to have to be responsible for. It's that situation between the mom and child is already developed rather than like the baby being younger, where they would not like they still can't grow together, but he's contemplating like how it's a lot for him having a child. I don't know if it's because of the age or just because she has a child, but you can tell it's a lot for him to process. Oh, Chelsea and Jimmy are on a date. She asked him what's his biggest achievement, and he said, going to college because he is like the first generation on both sides of his family. Um, Excuse me if you hear my dog chewing in the background. He's the first generation to go to college, and his parents weren't really supportive, but he's glad that he did it. Chelsea's telling him that she did not go to college, but she's a flight attendant. And she's like, I have something to tell you. It could be a red flag. And Jimmy looks so nervous. I know in the back of his head is like, oh boy, not another bomb to be dropped on me. But she tells him that she was previously married. Um, he tells her that it doesn't scare him. Well, she explains to him that it was her high school sweetheart. They were 18. It lasted for almost 5 years. He tells her it doesn't scare him. Matter of fact, I had bigger news earlier today. So she's like, about me? And he's like, no, other people. She's getting emotional because I guess she did not get the response. I don't know what kind of a response she was expecting, but he's just, he explained to her, I had a lot dumped on me today. Um, I kind of don't know why she's crying though, you know, um, but I appreciate him telling her like he doesn't know how to change the subject because his mind is going through a lot. So she's tearing up and putting on her shoes. I guess she figures that the date is about to be over. All in and stuff, and telling him that she's just a little emotional. And he's like, no, she says to him, you're not gonna like everyone. And he's like, no, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you the complete opposite. So because he catches feelings really fast. So she ends up leaving. And I'm trying to understand why are you so emotional? Because you didn't get like, what type of response were you expecting? Like, regardless if he had other news dropped on him earlier, that's still some news, and people need time to process certain things that they're hearing or receiving. And for her to start crying, I'm not trying to be cold or anything, but I felt like it was unnecessary, honestly. He's there like, damn, the two girls that I'm connecting with, one has a child, the other was already married. That's, that's kind of hard to bring into a family, especially if you're he didn't say if his family was super religious or anything, but it's a lot to process, either one of them, especially if he's a single man that's never been married and is looking for a wife and planning on having children. That is a lot for him to process, and um, everyone needs to give him some grace to go through the emotions and weigh out his to just weigh out his thoughts. Chelsea and Trevor on a date, and they're um, asking questions, and they ask each other if you ever had, or if you ever told someone that you love them but didn't mean it. And she said, yeah, the last three relationships I told them that I love them, but at the time, I mean, we all dish out the I love you. We all say the I love you. At the moment, that's what we mean, but saying I love you and being in love with someone, that's completely two different things. Um I tell people I love them all the time. It's kind of like a courtesy. Men, women, it doesn't matter. I love you. Love you too. Okay. Clay is telling her that, the last girl he was with, he was um definitely gonna marry, or they discuss marriage all the time, but but they never got married. Chelsea asked him why didn't he marry her. He said, because I wasn't 1,000% sure. And I like that, because 100% is so small. I like the fact that he said he wasn't 1,000% sure, because you know if you're really sure, you will know. So he asked her if he asked her if she's ever been close to getting married. She said, I was married. He said, would you say that was close? Hello, she was married. That's as close as you're gonna get to being married, is actually being married. And she wasn't sure if she told him, but he said in the first meeting, he believed that she mentioned that. Either that or Jimmy went back and told him. He's getting a better reaction from Trevor than she did from Jimmy, because he seems cool with it. This day and age, everybody has done something. It's almost a red flag if you've never had some type of experience. So Trevor is pretty much telling her, like he's really feeling her, and she's, kind of shocked and whatnot. I like them together. They look good together. Um, yeah, from that perspective, they look cute together. So um, Amy and Johnny, he's singing, I think, a rock song to her, and she's just cracking up. So now we're on to Jamal and Alejandra. We didn't really see much of them, but he goes to sit down, and you hear a tear, and she's like, "What?" I guess he sat down too quick, or his pants was a little too tight because he ripped his seam. Sunny and Ben, she's like, "Put your hands in here, touch your toes, spin around, do whatever." Um, yeah, he's doing it. I don't know why. I guess they needed little filler moments or filler clips, but they didn't really show much of either one of their connections. And then Nolan, um, I don't know where Nolan came from, but he's telling her he feels the most sexiest in his button-up shirt, in his business attire. with some chest hair flown, and he calls his chest hair taco meat. I love a good button up shirt. I think that is so sexy on either man or woman. Honestly, I prefer men button up shirts. I can dress it up, dress it down. I can wear it as a dress. I can be at home just chilling, relaxing in a nice, comfy button up shirt. So, a button up shirt is very sexy, in my opinion. To the women's quarters, and, 80s in a confessional, she's saying that how the women aren't really being that. The women aren't really saying much because they know things are getting serious, with their guys. Now it's time for a night date. Clay and AD, he's telling her that, he really looks up to his dad, and he has a big ego. It's kind of like a pro and a con for him. Telling her that his ego is kind of like a security blanket, um, because he never really got chosen by the one that he really wanted. And, he appreciates how, she said she really wanted to get to know him. He really liked that. He expressed that it's hard for him to trust people. So I appreciate that with him. He seemed to be battling something internally, I guess. He did mention the whole trust thing. I guess just being really vulnerable. And he's a pretty attractive guy. They're all pretty beautiful people. And it's just, you can tell like he has some insecurities. And I'm looking at him like, this guy, he looks fit, he's handsome. What could you be insecure about? But, I know we all have insecurities. Pretty much wants AD to speak more about her physical. He wants to know what she looks like. He's telling her like he wants to be a physically attracted to his girl, and she's like, what's good for you? He likes butt, he likes lips, he likes something else. But she's like, we're not supposed to talk about the physical, so does it matter? She tells him that, no, I'm not going to tell you about my features, but I respect if I respect if, you don't want to go forward, pretty much. So she's kind of a little turned off by it, and their date is over. Stay, and AD's first date is with Matt, and he asked her, were you up all night, on a date? And she's like, yeah. He's like, I'm a little jealous, but I understand. He tells her, like, if you want someone that's going to be, giving you the center of attention at a party, that ain't me. But, guys like me, they win more. That statement, are you in it for the right reason, or is this a game for you? I understand it's somewhat of a competition because they're all dating the same person, but you're supposed to be connecting to your person. You're not supposed to really worry about what anyone else has going on. Like, you're supposed to just genuinely be focused on your journey in this process. Okay, now I do like Matt, but he told, because he knows that she has potentially other suitors, or maybe not suitors, sorry, dates. He tells her, I've been thinking about you all night. And he turns his head. It's like he's not like they're supposed to look at the camera, but he's just not even looking forward or face up. His face is either to the side or down. I'm just getting a little suspicious of you, Matt. So Matthew is telling AD, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of manipulation vibe from Matthew. It's like he's saying certain things to hear her respond. And he's telling her, and this is just episode 1, that if it's either with you or not. Really? Already? I think it seems like he's just saying that so to kind of wheel her back in, and I don't like that. So he's really he's really being manipulative, and she's all in tear like, "Oh, you're making my day." Not crying from being sad, but just like, "Oh my god," pretty much the words that he's saying. And he still has his face turned to the side. There's something about that that just does not sit easy with me. Really getting in on AD emotionally, talking about the engagement and stuff. Then he asked her what her father thinks, and she said, he passed away last September. He's telling her that he doesn't really feel comfortable proposing without asking for permission first. He asked him, how important is race? And he's pretty much like, are we still thinking about that in this day and age? And she really feels so comfortable with him. Um, she has fun with Clay, like their dates besides the last one when he was trying to find out what she looks like. But their dates have been light and playful. And her dates with Matthew has been just more like getting a deeper connection. Not like actually her dates with Clay has been deep as well because he's opened up a lot as well. But it's just lighter with them. And with Matthew, um, it's more, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but just a little bit more deeper because, the things he's talking about, he's saying and stuff. And, um, he's telling her pretty much like, just say it, we can go home today together. Okay, Matthew. No, I don't think he really means it. He's talking about, just tell me we can get out of here and I'll bring you to the top of the mountain and propose to you. I mean, I saw what everyone else saw. I don't know how deep their connection is, but I just feel like that's a little bit too soon. And are you, are you just trying to win? Are you really like sincere? The women's lounge in the women's quarter. Um, Amber, Desiree, AD, and Amber is talking, and Amber tells AD that, she had a really good date. And AD's like, with whom? And she said, with Matthew, and how Matthew's talking about asking her dad and how he can leave with her. In my head, I was like, I knew it, dude. I knew you were suspicious. Have mercy. Amber hit it on the head. Uh, his words are nice, but she needs action. And that's what it is for me. He's been saying what he thinks they want to say. He's been saying what he thinks they want to hear and what will bring him closer. And he is actually telling both ladies the same darn thing. Talking about drawing a map. I can come get you. He just said that to AD. So AD hasn't disclosed it to Amber that they're dating the same person and he said the same things to her. She's just looking like her mouth is closed, but her eyes are wide open. I can only imagine like if because she doesn't want Amber to know, her jaws would have been dropped. Like he's doing the same thing to me. That's end of episode 1. Matthew. That's all I got to say.